host today is going to be Kevin Cavanaugh in our marketing department. So I'll turn it over to him.
Good morning. Welcome to the Kendal at Lexington Resident Speaker Panel Series via Zoom. I'm Kevin Cavanaugh, host of today's session, which is a virtual open house. During the next hour, 4 independent living residential cottages will be featured as Kendal at Lexington residents give you a tour of their homes via Zoom. So this is your chance to take a peek inside some of the homes on our campus, and at the same time, learn from the folks who have already made Kendal at Lexington their new home. Joining me is one of your tour guides this morning is Kendal Marketing Director Jessica Bueller, who you saw just a moment ago, and she'll be sharing her screen with a floor plan drawing of each residence prior to the tour, just before we start. Now, Kendal at Lexington has 150 independent living residences. There are 56 apartments and 94 freestanding cottages. We have 24 different floor plans, ranging from the 550 square foot studio apartment to the 2,000 square foot U cottage. Now, before we go on our tour, let's meet the rest of today's tour guides. I'm going to introduce John first. I don't know whether he's on the session yet or not, but I'll tell you about John. Sooner or later, we'll get him connected. John has been a Kendal resident since 2012. John and his late wife, Martha, lived in many parts of the US and also abroad, including stays in Mexico City, Madrid, and Paris. Their move to Kendal at Lexington was their 24th move together. Sadly, Martha passed away in 2013. One of John's recent projects here at Kendal has been taking on a leadership role in introducing a web-based communication system for residents called KaDeWeb. KaDeWeb provides easy access to dining menus, newsletters, and the library catalog, plus a directory of contact information for residents and staff, and daily notification of when mail has arrived. John also serves as co-editor of the Connections resident newsletter. He'll be giving us a tour of his 2-bedroom plus den cluster cottage, floor plan R, just off of Sunnyside Drive. Has John joined us yet, Jessica, or are we still waiting for him to connect?
Yeah, and you know what, Kevin, I'm thinking since John's on, why don't we do one bio before each person instead of doing them all now? So if you're ready, John, let's make sure you're good to go here. Can you say something so we can hear you?
Okay, I was muted,
Yay.
But now I'm unmuted. Okay, so good morning, everybody. This is John South, as he said. Let me start off. I'm going to step outside the front door of my cottage. I was late getting on because I was trying to do it on my iPad, and that didn't work. So I'm going to have to guess about what you're seeing here. This is the view from outside of my cottage. This is the covered walkway that goes to the main building. You can see the main building in the background. And if I turn over here this way, that's the fitness center. So it'll give you a location where I am. And before I go in, I'd like to say it's very nice to be in a small CCRC or life care community like this, because there's so much more flexibility to meet residents' needs. Small example of that is officially, as you can see on the door, this is Cottage 1024. But they were very generous in letting me put up another address that my kids gave me as a memento of our time overseas. Now let's go into the cottage.
John, just right before you go in, I'm going to do a quick screen share so they can see the floor plan.
Okay, great.
Okay, can you all see this floor plan here? I can't see exactly what you're seeing. Can you see it's living room on the bottom? And Kevin, can you let me know if you can see that?
Yes, I can see that. So what you're seeing is a floor plan of the R cluster cottage. And the cluster cottages are kind of like townhouses with the 3 or more homes in each building, but all are single story. And the R is the largest of our cluster cottages. It has 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, a den, and 2 patios, which can be upgraded to sunrooms. So
I am now standing in the foyer. So down in the lower left-hand corner, that's the view that you're seeing is from there. And this is the entry to the cottage. I come in first to the living room, and I'm going to have to move around a little bit because the window lighting sometimes makes dominates the picture. But you're looking here across the living room, and in the distance you can see the den. Let me walk over here to show you a little bit different angle. And I apologize if the I'm not getting the whole picture in here. I was going to do this on my iPad, but I couldn't get signed in. So here I'm standing in front of one of we had several upgrades done in our apartment. This fireplace, which you saw a minute ago, standing in front of that was an upgrade. And as you look across, you can see the door open there, and that's the living room from this angle. And over to the left here is a small table that we use for breakfast and lunch. Then coming back over here, one of the major amenities that we upgraded here was that we had, with the cottage, the prior resident had all wall-to-wall carpeting, which I think was the standard when we got here. We decided we wanted to have hardwood floors, and so the front part of the house, the living room, dining room, etc., has hardwood floors. The back end, where the bedrooms are, is still wall-to-wall carpeting. So I'm walking now over towards the den. Actually, we used it for a while as a den, and then recently the sofa that I had in here I gave to one of my kids, and I'm in the process now of converting this into my computer room and office. You'll see my current one as we move back to that part of the house. But this is a nice area. It's big enough to be a dining room, and many people use it that way. I'm walking into one of two enclosures you can see on the floor plan. And this enclosure, these two enclosures we only use when the children visit. I have, and you'll see it in a minute, a roll-away type bed, and we have a girl and a boy in each of my daughters, so that they can sleep in separate little enclosures. My kids can get a roll-away bed and sleep here if they want to. Their big preference is to stay in our sort of home B&B Sunnyside house and get a little escape from the kids. And so that's what they frequently do. Now I'll go over here and show you this other enclosure. I think the official size of this floor plan is 1,600 square feet, but these two enclosures, which we turned into additional rooms, make it more like an 1,800 square foot facility. So you can see here I'm not sure if you can see what I'm looking at here. Yeah, there's the over and under bed. There's a bed underneath that we can pull out and move over into the other side. Okay, Jessica, you tell me if they're not seeing enough of the stuff.
I say just maybe center your laptop a little bit more.
So I'm walking into the kitchen. Since I'm not much of a cook, I mostly do sandwiches and breakfast in the kitchen, but it's a fully appointed kitchen, plenty of counter space. That you see in this kitchen is standard, except for two things. The refrigerator, we wanted a little bit larger refrigerator, and then we put a stainless steel sink in instead of a porcelain sink. But there's lots of room here, plenty of cabinets, and it's very utilitarian. Now, I'm walking back now toward the back of the house. This is the main hallway, and you can't see too much from here, but not that we're looking straight ahead into the two bedrooms area. I will stop on the left here. This is the guest bath now, but
We're losing you a little bit.
soak and be completely immersed in the tub. So this has a full-size tub. Kendal was very helpful in finding one that would fit in the space allocated, and I've been very happy with that. And it's plenty of size. It's just a little cramped here because I've got a very large bureau in here, so there's lots of room in this bathroom. I will not show you here. I'll show you in the other one. There is a a linen closet in each bath. Now we're going back into what was the second bedroom, but what we turned it into a TV room and computer room. And my children now call this the man cave. And you can see, I'll go over to the other side because the light in the window distorts things a little bit. But there's my TV and computer setup. Plenty of room in this. Almost all the rooms are very large just on their own. But then the fact that we all have 9-foot ceilings makes you feel like you're really in a palace when you're in these rooms. And I'm not going to go through a lot of closets, but there are closets in both bedrooms. And this is just to give you an idea of the closet. I fixed this up so I could hang things high and low, and you get a feel for the closet space that's available. Now I'll move on into the master bedroom. And on the way, one of the things, Martha was an artist, and you see a lot of paintings on the wall. That was a big plus for her. There's lots of wall space. And so if you'd like to hang art, this is a great place to do it. This happens to be what we call the Rogues Gallery. So family pictures, our family and our extended family. And I'm walking now into the master bedroom. It's quite a large room, as you can see. I've got a king-size bed here with side tables by the king-size bed. I got a big sofa or easy chair over here in the corner. And as you can see, there are two large bureaus and still plenty of room in this master bedroom.
So how much did you have to pay for the modification to the flooring and also to the refrigerator?
We have some time for questions. I think we'll put that. You want to just finish up your tour, John,
Yeah,
and then you're going to head to the living room. We can answer a couple questions. We have a few minutes for that.
Keep that in mind, and I'll answer it when we get to the end. So I'm going into the third from the last room I'm going to show you, and this is the master bath. It has a shower, as you can see, with a tub, not a tub, but an area to sit. You'll see that you may not have noticed, but there are grab bars everywhere. Martha was ill and needed that help, and Kendal very gladly we have more grab bars than we have hands for sure. And then I do want to point out, this is the linen closet in this bathroom. So plenty of room to store sheets and towels and that sort of thing, and swimsuits there. Finally, let me go out toward the front again. There is plenty of storage space here, and there is one particularly large closet, which is here in this hallway. And just to give you an idea, this we use, since I'm all by myself now, I use it for out-of-season clothing, blankets, and that sort of thing. Still have plenty of room for supplies and a little auxiliary pantry, although there's don't really necessarily need that. But you can see I have all the necessities for a guy living alone. I got beer, I got Coca-Cola, I got breakfast stuff, chips, and so on. And then finally, let me show you the utility room, and then I'll answer questions. The utility room is just off the dining area in the living area. And as you can see, there's plenty of room for two full-size washer dryer, lots of shelving. We put shelving everywhere to be able to store things that we thought we would need and really have never gone in to see. And then one of the things I do in here, as you can see, there's not being a person that done is try to get mostly non-iron pants and shirts, and I don't dry them all the way to the end. I take them out and hang them in that little room when I'm done. Okay, that is it. I'll be happy to answer any questions that anybody has.
So if you don't have your video on, you can send me a chat question, or I can watch the screen and Katie and I and Kevin can look for hands up. Before we answer questions, I do just want to note that all 4 of the cottages we're viewing today, the floor plans are on the website. 2 of them also have 3D tours of the actual homes you're going to see, and 2 have video tours. So I know Zoom can be a little bit shaky, and we lost internet there for a minute. So I think it's wonderful to have this live element, but just so you all know, you could go on our website and see a professionally done tour of John's cottage and every cottage we're going to see today. So Gwen, your question was about upgrade flooring. John may not know his price of that, but just to let you know, right now, our standard is hardwood flooring throughout the main living areas. If there's not already hardwood flooring in the bedrooms, that would be an upgrade, but there's a credit involved. So the pricing does vary on that. But just to let you know that the standard living spaces do come, the main living spaces do come with hardwood flooring. So maybe Katie and Kevin, you can help me monitor hands raised, because I have it in speaker view for recording. We have time for a couple more questions. Any other questions?
Let me answer that, take a crack at answering that question too. I don't remember the prices of everything that we've upgraded, but as you say, the cost of the larger refrigerator was the incremental cost over what the standard refrigerator would have been. So it's not a full cost of a refrigerator. It's 7 or 8 years ago. I don't remember the actual numbers. And then on the fireplace, I do remember the number of that. We put that in after we got here, actually. It was a real blessing for Martha. At this time of year, we don't have it turned on. It's a gas fireplace, and it vents outside we had the bookshelves put around it. We spent about $8,000 to put that fireplace in. And the tub was something in a couple $100 for the larger tub that we put in.
And the process we use is when you do reserve a cottage or an apartment, marketing would go through, let you know everything that we would do at our cost, and then we'd, work with you to pick out customizations that you would like. Do you see any more questions, Katie or Kevin? Okay, so if not, Kevin, why don't
Yes, I had another one. It's in the chat group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, how far is the nearest airport, and what is the name of that airport?
Let me answer that because I go there all the time. The largest airport is in Roanoke. That's the closest one. And it's about, from my cottage to the parking lot, it's about 50-minute drive. It's about 45 miles. Of course, if the traffic's bad on the interstate, it's going to take more than that. The next option for me usually is going all the way to DC to Dulles, and that's a 3.5-hour drive. So I try generally to use the Roanoke Airport.
And does the Roanoke Airport have just private planes or smaller planes, and then you have to connect into Dulles Airport?
Hey, John, can I just interrupt for a moment? I think I'd like to keep these questions specific to the floor plans. We have over 50 folks on the call here that tuned in. So why don't we get it over to Kevin, and then Gwen will contact you directly, and we can have a great conversation. And we can even Zoom with you again with John if you'd like. So Kevin,
well, thank you.
Get it over. Oh, Kevin? I can't hear you.
You hear me now?
Yep, I can hear Ted. So Kevin, do you want to do the introduction?
Kevin, you're muted.
Yes. Sorry, I was muted. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.